Hey guys, welcome back to Hero Games. It's your boy Red, coming at you with our undefeated Wargreymon EX deck from our locals this past weekend. If you've been to this channel before, you may or may not know, but I'm a big Wargreymon fan, not only as a Digimon, but also as a deck strategy. I like Wargreymon Tribal. It's my preferred go-to red deck if possible, and the new EX updates definitely breathe some new life to help it ease out in that competitive field. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. For our eggs, we are running 4 copies of BT5 Koromon. BT5 Koromon has the effect when attacking if this Digimon is a Omnimon or a Greymon in its name. Trigger, draw 1 card. You could definitely make some strong arguments for the new BT6 Demi-Meramon. I'm a bit more fan of the draw power, and I like to just run 4 for the consistency. But if not this, then I would definitely suggest the Demi-Meramon for the when attacking effect gain DP. Next, we are running 4 copies of the Searcher, the BT5 Agumon on play. Reveal top 3 cards, add 1 Greymon and 1 Omnimon to your hand. Place the remaining at the bottom. So this pairs wonderfully with the Tamer from the same set, Nokia. Allows us to search for our key component pieces a lot quicker. Plus, if they do hit a Tamer security, then you get a free Digimon on the field, which is fantastic. For our main inheritable, we are running the new starter deck Agumon and copies of 4. When attacking a player, this Digimon gains plus 2000 DP for the turn, which is fantastic effect. As a Greymon Tribal, we are usually preferring to attack the player anyways, directly to go ahead and OTK that security, and adding a plus 2000 when attacking for that makes this deck a lot more consistent than before, where we only had access to the 4 copies of Promo Agumon, which we are also running. So now we have double the options to gain plus 2000 DP onto our Digimon, making this a much more consistent build. And for our last one, we are not running a Agumon, but instead we are running 4 copies of the BT1 Monodramon. Monodramon is simply just a 2-drop option for this deck. You could argue for the BT3 Agumon as well, which is also a 2-drop, but is instead a 1 to evolve. While that plays a lot better with the Nokia strats, I find it to be a bit more inconsistent. And sometimes this 2-drop is all I have in my hand for my opening level 3, and I'd rather spend 0 memory than 1. But you could definitely argue for either way, just depending on how consistent you are feeling about the deck. And of course, we're running, for our level 4s, 4 copies of the original starter deck Greymon. Starter deck Greymon is, of course, the optimal level 4 for just about any red build you could run. Just the simple inheritable of security attack plus 1. And red's really aggressive playstyles with checks means Greymon is a staple in any red deck we put him in. As a companion to that, we are running the new BT5 Greymon as well. Well, not as new, I guess I should say. When Digivolving, its Digimon as Agumon and its Digivolution cards gain 1 memory, allowing him to also be a sort of turbo option. It also plays wonderfully well with Nokia, where you can play Nokia, get an Agumon, use that same Nokia to essentially evolve into Greymon for 0, making him a really good turbo option. His inheritable is that it gives any Greymon or Omnimon that's on top of him plus 2000 DP. Not as aggressive as Security Tech plus 1, but definitely helps him survive those checks, if nothing else. And for our last level 4, we're running 2 copies of the Promo Greymon. If this Digimon has an Agumon Digivolution card, it gains Security Tech plus 1. And if we compare that up with our Koromon and our Agumon here to put him to a 7k draw card, which is a pretty good combo. You can also add another K to that if you're doing the Demi-Meramon egg underneath it. This lets him be a really aggressive checker, but I'm probably actually deciding on taking him out. I don't really get into a lot of situations where I'll have him out and go for the 2 security check and actually mean a lot. I think I would rather either trade him out either for Koromon if we want to play more defensive build, or even Agumon to make use of the Tamers in case we get board wipe and we need 1 more swing on the next turn. Both of those options have come up, so it can kind of go either way, but I'm not really feeling the Promo Greymon right now. Next, we are running 2 copies of the new EX MetalGreymon and 2 copies of the original starter deck MetalGreymon. Now, I did 2 and 2 because I wasn't sure exactly which I wanted to play in this meta. Now that I've played them both, I can definitely tell which one I'd rather have more. The EX1, when attacking, when this Digimon attacks a player, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. And while this Digimon has Machine or Dragonkin in its traits, it gains Piercing. Compare this to the previous MetalGreymon, which is when the Digimon is blocked, gain 3 memory. So the biggest weakness I have to say to the WarGreymon OTK tribal builds is blockers. And while this is a relatively more lower blocker type of meta right now, blockers still come up, especially playing against like Jesmon. The sister mons are just free blockers. Blue will play blockers. Blockers still exist to some degree, even if not as much as before. And the gain 3 memory has not really come up ever. The opponent's very careful about not blocking when you're swinging with this. They really don't want you gaining the 3 memory because it's going to hurt. Whereas MetalGreymon is more of a strat of where you don't care if they block because you'll gain piercing. So I think this has come up a lot more and allows you to also be able to delete Digimon and still get our security checks. So I'm leaning more towards EX. I'm probably going to go all in on the EX if I can't think of anything else. Other options might include Groundramon for the turbo option, although with Nokia, MetalGreymon's kind of act as turbo options as well. Or you could do the Lavadramon for Security Attack +1, or you can do WarGreymon to play a free tamer, a free red tamer, I should say, and then minus 2000 DP on an enemy Digimon. So there's definitely a few options there, but I'm kind of feeling the piercing. For our other level 5, we are running 4 copies of MetalGreymon Alterous mode. When Digivolving, this Digimon has a MetalGreymon in its name. In its Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4K or less. This pairs really well with the EX MetalGreymon. We're able to attack and delete a 4K with this effect, and then evolve on top of it for 1 and delete another 4K. It's really great for killing off small boards that are trying to outswarm you. And then it gives another plus 2000 DP to our level 6s and our level 7s, which is fantastic. We'll never complain about having too much DP. For our level 6s, we are of course running 3 copies of the BT1 WarGreymon. This is the card that will never stop being relevant, at least not anytime soon, with the presence of security control decks and strong option cards. When Digivolving, this Digimon gains Security Attack +1, and then on your turn, this Digimon does not activate security skills from option cards it checks, which is fantastic. This shuts down 3 Musketeers, shuts down security control, helps safely check blues so you're not hitting those ice walls or those hammer sparks. Free to check in on yellow if anybody's actually playing yellow at your locals. No Gaia Force. This is the end-all be-all safest card to check security with if you have a straight shot to their security. But what if you don't? What if there is something in your way, like a blocker, which would naturally end all of this? Ladies and gentlemen, we now have the new EX WarGreymon. WarGreymon is our new big bad boy on the set. I love this card. This card has been putting in the work. When Digivolving, this card has Blitz. When this Digimon attacks a player, if you have a tamer card, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with blocker. While a bit more to evolve than our BT1 WarGreymon, having access to cards like Nokia and Marcus make this card actually a 3 cost or cheaper. Nokia will naturally decrease its evolution cost, and then Marcus will gain a memory on attacking, which it will attack automatically on evolve, making this a fantastic aggression card. And we get to delete a blocker, meaning that if they do try to stop us from going for that OTK strat, that blocker's not going to be very relevant very long. And as with all Greymon builds, the card that we want to finish off with is the BT5 Omnimon. Omnimon is our finisher here. When Digivolving, unsuspend and Blitz attack. Preferably, we want to check out all the security with our WarGreymons and then go into Omnimon for the finishing swing. However, if they are not finished off with the last Omnimon swing, then we have the option of also protecting ourselves. Not only is Omnimon a 14k DP, making him a bit harder to remove, but he has hard removal protection as well, able to discard the level 6 source under him to prevent deletion or removal from field due to card effect. For our tamers, we are playing 3 copies of Marcus. Marcus, whenever a Digimon attacks, gain a memory. And then, of course, he also is a memory corrector, so he'll set our memory to 3 each turn. You could swap this out for BT1 tie if you wanted the extra security checks, but I prefer more of the memory gain effect with the new Blitz WarGreymon. It definitely is a wonderful way of starting your turn, evolve for 4, tap Marcus, gain a memory, now you're back at 0, and that's a really good aggression card to be able to still be your tourney, and then you can Omnimon on top of it. If you need some more free Digimon in the field, or you need some more memory control options, Nokia is our girl. Nokia is on play. You may play one Agumon or Gabumon from your hand, which is wonderful to pair with our searcher options. Also, when digivolving one of your Digimon to a Greymon or an Omnimon, you may tap this tamer to reduce its evolution cost by 1. And we'll finish it off with our 2 option cards. 2 copies of Gaia Force. This is our hard removal. Definitely happy sometimes to spend that 8 memory to shut down a boss monster on the opponent's side of the field if they leave it unprotected. Of course, it is preferred it be insecurity ruining their attack. So the name of the game, of course, with Greymon OTK is pretty simple. We use effects like Koromon effects and Nokia with Agumon searches to build up our stacks quickly. We are running a very straightforward plan, being able to just have everything be a Greymon and everything be DP gaining or security plussing. We are swinging hard, we are swinging fast, and we are swinging to win, hopefully in 1 turn when we bring up to attack. Thanks to new cards like the new MetalGreymon with its piercing, we're able to delete smaller boards as well as combine it with the piercing effect and EX's deletion effect, that we are no longer worried about blockers as much as this deck used to be, while the BT1 WarGreymon still keeps us safe against checks that involve heavy option cards. And hopefully Omnimon will finish off the game, if not set us a really strong set for next turn. This deck has performed very well against Hexablue Zulongmon decks, has performed very well against Venom Minosmon decks. We played against 3 Angels, done very well against 3 Musketeers, Gabumon decks. My locals don't really have any black players besides me, so I have not played against any Black Royal Knights or Machinedramon. I imagine those would be more of the toe-to-toes, as while I do have the ability to delete blockers, things like Craniumon and Machinedramon's own deletion protection do make it a bit more challenging to get through those obstacles. But I'm very happy that I was able to take first place at my locals finally with a Wargreymon deck. I was so proud, so happy. It was a lot of fun too. Thanks to everyone who was there that day that participated. Playing against y'all have definitely helped me improve in a lot of ways as a player and approach a lot of different strategies. And if you're watching this, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you're running in your Wargreymon builds. And we'll be back with future Digimon content. Catch you guys next time.